Okay, in this video we're going to talk a little bit about some vocabulary, and specifically these three words: the difference between simplify, solve, and evaluate. Okay? Because students, I think, sometimes use these interchangeably, and it's not quite correct. Okay, so let me show you the difference. When I solve something, let's just start with solve, because that's probably the most common. When I solve something, I need an equal sign. Let me show you what that looks like. Need an equal sign. And that usually means that you have some kind of a variable or an unknown, okay, that you are looking for. You want to replace that variable or that unknown with a number of some kind. So for example, something like 3x plus 1 is equal to 5 would be solving. I would solve for the x. And of course, let's just go ahead and do this one quickly. Let's subtract 1 from both sides, and that would give us this. And then let's divide by 3, and that would give me x is equal to 4 over 3. And when you solve, in this particular instance, you usually want to replace the x. Okay, so that's called a check. So you'd say 3 times 4 over 3. Always put whatever you're trying to, whatever you have solved for, put it back in parentheses when you replace the x. Do it like that. And then see if both sides are equal to one another. So 3 times 4 is 12 over 3 plus 1 is equal to 5. That becomes 4 plus 1 is equal to 5, and that is 5 is equal to 5. So that is checked. Now, what I have done here is similar to what these other two words are. So if I wanted to evaluate, let's use that as my second word. The question will be something like this: will 4 over 3 satisfy the equation 3x plus 1 is equal to 5, okay? What they're asking you to do, and you know, they have some variation of this, this question here, right? What they're asking you to do is to take this number and to insert it into the unknown, like we just did down here, okay? So again, you would just take whatever this is. Whenever you have the unknown, go ahead and write it all out first, like that, wherever the unknown needs to be inserted, and then afterwards go back in and place it in there. Now, that doesn't seem like a big deal, but trust me, always make sure that you write it inside a parentheses, okay? And again, as we just proved down here, we know that 5 is equal to 5, right? And that's called evaluating. And that's usually to prove that whatever this number is a solution to this particular equation. Okay, now the last word that we want to talk about is simplify. All right, let me just do that down here, actually. Now, simplify does not have an equal sign. Does not have an equal sign in it. Okay? So for example, something like, oh, I don't know, let's go with 9x squared divided by 3x. There's no equal sign here, but I want to get this into its lowest possible terms. That's another way of saying that, okay? Lowest possible terms. And you do this normally by something called factoring. Okay? In this particular case, I would just take the like terms, the terms that are similar. So like, for example, 9 and 3 are numbers, x and x are variables, and they're the same variable. And I'd apply whatever rule I would need to apply. In this case, it would be 9 divided by 3. So I know that 9 divided by 3 is 3. And x squared divided by x, I would just subtract the exponents, and I would just get x to the first. This would be simplifying this. It's not solving this, it's simplifying this. This and this are exactly the same thing. Okay, so again, just to real briefly, let's go through the three words again. Solve, evaluate, and simplify. Solve means you have to have an equal sign, and you're looking for the variable or the unknown, and then you're going to check it after. Evaluate is basically just seeing if the number that you have found actually will work or is a solution. That's another way of looking at it, to the equation that you had. And simplify just puts things in its lowest possible terms. Okay, I hope that was helpful.